everybody, welcome back to an episode of the 3 Count Network Edition. I'm War Machine MJ of the 3 Count Mafia. I'm here today to talk about the network stuff from the 24th and 25th. This episode's going up later than usual because didn't get the notes till Saturday. Left him in my car until this morning, which is Tuesday, or was Tuesday, so it's been out of sheer forgetfulness, not laziness. Anyway, here today to talk about 205 Live, NXT, and NXT UK. But you know how this show runs. Worst show goes first, best show goes last, followed by Match of the Night. We kick things off with NXT UK, still resonating from the UK Download Festival. I think this is their last episode from the Download Festival. They never have the best traveling episodes of NXT UK, but whatever. We kicked off the show with the Lucky and Kenny Williams taking on Supernova 11 Noam Dar. This was a fantastic match. Glad to see that this feud keeps going, because at the end of it, Noam Dar had a knee bar locked into Kenny Williams. Kenny got out of it. However, Noam Dar got one of his shoes, slipped off, and referee stopped Noam Dar when he was trying to go hit Kenny with it. So Noam Dar's like, you know what, yeah, fair play. He got whoops, throws it while the referee's dealing with that. Noam Dar just casually walks over, toe taps Kenny Williams right in the berries. Referee turns around. Noam Dar hits the Nova Roll super kick, and Noam Dar wins. Next, they made it official. The NXT UK Women's Championship match is set for NXT TakeOver Cardiff as Toni Storm defends the Shiny against Kaylee Ray. So yeah, that's going to be a banger of a match. Speaking of Toni Storm and Kaylee Ray, they're involved in a 6-woman tag team match where Kaylee Ray and Toni Storm captain their own teams. Kaylee Ray was, of course, joined by Jenny and Jazzy Gabert, while Toni Storm was joined by Xia Brookside and Piper Niven. This was a fun enough match. There was a precise attention to detail as Kaylee Ray kept ducking Toni Storm. Basically, whenever the two would be in the ring or would be close to one another, Kaylee Ray would get the slap out of there. But in the end, Kaylee Ray's team won as Kaylee Ray put Xia Brookside to bed. Next, Dave Mastiff speeds out next week. And finally, that leaves us to our main event, Trent Seven challenging, if I can get my words together, challenging Walter for the NXT UK Championship. This was a pretty good match. The story of this was, the story of the match was pretty much Trent Seven would throw everything he had at Walter. Walter would shake it off and throw 10 more at him. So basically, Trent Seven was just fighting a losing battle the entire time. Towards the finish, Walter hit Trent Seven with a powerbomb. Was going to go for a cover, but decided against it and just dropped Trent Seven with 2 more powerbombs. Imperium came out there. They stood at ringside and were ordered to turn around, basically stand guard, make sure nobody intrudes. Walter hit Trent Seven with 1 more powerbomb, Then he commanded all of Imperium to turn around and watch the devastation unfold. Walter then hit a fifth powerbomb. Referee just decided to throw it out after the fifth powerbomb. Why don't you stop it at 3? Whatever. It was still a stunning visual as the match ended with Walter standing tall, Imperium holding court outside the ring, and Trent Seven looking half dead in the ring. It was a meh show, but that ending though, oof, that ending. Next, we move on to 205 Live, where we started the show off with a promo from one Drake Maverick, who decided to make, I guess it would be this week, an unsanctioned match between Mike Kanellis and Drake Maverick. If Mike Kanellis wins, Drake Maverick will finally give him a Cruiserweight Championship opportunity. Or at least I think he says. It's going to be really killer. I haven't watched it yet, but it's going to be really killer. But as far as in-ring action, we kicked off the show with Lucha House Party taking on Humberto Carrillo and Raul Mendoza. This was a beautiful Lucha Libre tag team match because it was just slam on the gas, start to finish. But in the end, the ragtag tag team of Humberto Carrillo and Raul Mendoza picked up the victory. Next, we had a one-off match between Oney Lorcan and Tony Eisner, which Oney Lorcan beat him, hands down. And in the main event, we had a 205 and NXT crossover as NXT champion Drew Gulak took on, 205's champion Drew Gulak took on NXT's breakout star Isaiah Swerve Scott, aka Shane Strickland. And this was a really good match. Definite clash of styles as Swerve pulled everything out of his bag of tricks to beat down Gulak. However, in the end, Gulak beat Swerve safe and sound, feet on the ground. And finally, we head to NXT, where, speaking of breakouts, we had the second round, or we kicked off the second round of the breakout tournament as Jordan Miles, the former ACH, took on Angel Garza, the former Garza Jr. Yet another really good match, really high octane, as both guys, broke the speedometer trying to outpace one another. But in the end, Jordan Miles will move on to the next round. Okay, yeah, it's just 3 rounds. Or is it 4? Okay, yeah, I think it's 3 rounds. Anyway, he'll move on to the next round. And next we had oh, he didn't put it on there. Oh wait, yeah, he did. Okay, all right. Next we had sorry, I'm going off Rod's notes here. Next, Johnny Gargano named his stipulation for the essentially 3 stages of hell match at TakeOver, and he chooses a street fight. I'm sorry. There we go. He chooses a street fight to take on Adam Cole. Next wasn't much of a match because Bianca Belair took on Xia Li. Bianca had that match in her hand from the go. So, yeah, Bianca Belair won. No surprise. Next, Killian Dane talks about his attack on Matt Riddle, saying he didn't choose to attack anybody. When he came back, he didn't want to attack anybody. Matt Riddle is not an anybody. Matt Riddle is a somebody. So, prison mentality. Walk up to the biggest dude in the yard, knock his teeth in. Next, we had more hood rat tactics from Mia Yim as she ambushed Jessamine Duke after she got done with her reps, just beat her down, hood rat style, and then slammed a locker into her shoulder, basically rendering her useless. Prior to Mia Yim's title match against Shayna Baszler at Takeover. Next, we had the Velveteen Dream, who looked like a throwback to Hollywood Hulk Hogan. As much as I dislike Hulk Hogan, that was a nice taste from the the North American Dream experience. But yeah, Velveteen Dream addresses Roderick Strong, basically telling him, "You're not tall enough to ride this ride." Basically, he's not tall enough to step to him. Roderick Strong comes out there and says, "Yeah, I am, because I pinned you in that 2 out of 3 falls." Oh, not 2 out of 3 falls. Damn it. Sorry, Monday Night Raw is affecting me. I pinned you in that 6-man tag team match, so I get a championship match. Velveteen Dream then addresses the back. He says, "If there's anyone in the back who thinks they're big enough to ride this ride, I dare you to step to me." Out comes Pete Dunne, the Bruiserweight. Yeah, he comes out there. Roger Strong gets in his face, points the finger, just keeps pointing the finger at him. Pete Dunne grabs it and just snaps it. Well, I'm sorry, just snaps it. Gets in the ring, just starts eyeing Velveteen Dream and his North American Championship. Afterwards, we got a backstage segment, and this is just another example of why NXT has really good backstage segments, because Roderick Strong commandeered a cameraman, just basically grabbed him out of the collar and said, "Come on, follow me." He found William Regal, and even though Roderick Strong's a heel, a dastardly heel, he keeps addressing him as Mr. Regal. It's weird. Anyway, basically says, "What the hell's that nonsense? What's Pete Dunne doing out there? What's going on?" And essentially, William Regal said, "Well, you see, got this great idea. You Americans call it wild card rule." Essentially, he called Pete Dunne wild card and said it's going to be a triple threat for the North American Championship at Toronto. Dunne versus Strong versus the North American Dream experience. Next, we had Casey Catanzaro taking on Io Shirai. Not much of a match, because as Miss Shirai started putting the hurting on Casey Catanzaro, Candice LeRae came out there and just started beating Io Shirai all over the ring. Chased her off, hit her with a preem suicide dive, chased her off with a chair. No doubt we're going to get this match at TakeOver or just sometime down the line. Next, Adam Cole addresses the TakeOver card. He says, Undisputed Era, they're going to take back their gold. Roger Strong is going to take the North American gold. Fish and O'Reilly are going to take the tag team gold. And as for me, I'm picking a wrestling match. His stipulation is a straight up wrestling match. Because, and his logic makes a little bit of sense, he pinned Johnny at the 2 out of 3 falls, which was a wrestling match. He beat him at TakeOver 25 in a one-on-one match. So yeah, it'll be a one-on-one match, and of course, if it's tied up by the time they get to the 3rd fall, Regal will decide the final fall. It's also announced that this week, Tyler Breeze will take on Jackson Riker of the Forgotten Sons. And then Pete Dunne will take on Roderick Strong. And that leads us to our main event, a colossal... I tried to go for alliteration there. A super-sized showdown of kaiju proportions. There we go. A colossal kaiju collision. There we go. See, I can do alliterations too. As Limitless Keith Lee, bask in his glory, took on the infamous Damian Priest. Yeah, this was a really good match. Definitely a clash of big men that should not be moving that well. Like, they were doing some really ridiculous shit. Yeah, I'm trying to tone back on my cursing because I'm trying to do something else. So, you know, getting in the practice of it. But this match was just so unbelievable. I had to say that S word. Anyway, yeah, there was one spot where, I want to call him Punishment Martinez, but I can't. Where Priest goes for a tope. You know, he vaults over the ropes, and Keith Lee catches him before this man's head hits the floor. At first, I thought, ooh, that could have went so bad. But Keith Lee catches him in powerbomb position. Like he was nothing. Just nothing. Anyway, he rolls Priest up for a powerbomb. Priest shakes out of it, and then just proceeds to pump kick Keith Lee right into the steps. But yeah, this match was just, it was nuts from the jump. Of course, Damian Priest got the win because he used the referee as a meat shield between him and Keith Lee. While Keith Lee was distracted with that, he hit the he hit the whirlwind kick, and then dang, I forgot his finish. But yeah, he landed his finish. Yet another loss for Keith Lee. So yeah. As far as matches of the week is concerned, two matches of the week. Two. And they're both on 205 Live. I can't choose between two of them, so I'm just going to give them two matches of the week. The six-man tag team match... the tag team match between Lucha House Party and Carrillo and Mendoza, and then Swerve versus Gulak. Those matches were fire. But that is it for the network stuff as of last week. Yeah, I keep forgetting to plug this, but hate Rod's ugly face, but love his opinions. He has a podcast. It's Prime Talk with Rodimus Prime on the CastBox app. Check it out. He talks about wrestling. He talks about sports. He talks about things in general. Because he has opinions just like he has an ugly face. That being said, I'm War Machine MJ of the 3 Count Mafia, and we'll see you guys next time.